I swear I must have easy target tattooed on my forehead. That's the only explanation I can come up with for how often people think they can take from me, lie to my face, and still expect me to smile and keep showing up. But this one? This was different. This one cracked something in me. Please read this all the way through because by the end you might hate me, or you might completely understand. What began as a favor for someone I trusted spiraled into a betrayal so calculated, I still don't know if I regret it or if it saved me. It started with my cousin Trent. He's 29, same age as me, but somehow has lived a life 3 steps behind mine and still acts like he's lapping me. He's one of those guys who can mess up 5 jobs in a row, get dumped twice in a month, and still post motivational quotes about grinding on Instagram like he's not living in his in-laws' basement. But we used to be close. Grew up practically in the same crib, shared a bunk bed when we were kids, even got our first tattoos on the same night. His is some jagged lion on his forearm. Mine's, let's just say, more subtle, less roaring. So a month ago, Trent calls me, and he sounds panicked. "Bro, I need a favor," he says, and immediately I knew it was going to cost me. My car broke down, and I need $400 for repairs. I'm supposed to start this delivery job Monday. If I miss it, I'm screwed. I should have paused. I should have asked questions. But instead, I Venmo'd him the $400 before we even got off the phone. Because I remember when he covered half my rent the summer I was between jobs. Because my aunt, his mom, has health issues and he's been taking her to appointments. Because it felt like the right thing to do. Because, stupidly, I thought he respected me. I didn't hear from him for 3 weeks after that. I sent a couple texts. Nothing urgent. Just, "Hey, how's the new job?" and "All good with the car?" I got a single thumbs up emoji back, and then radio silence. Not even a happy birthday when mine rolled around last Thursday. And then, because God has a twisted sense of humor, I'm scrolling TikTok one night and there he is, Trent, shirtless, flashing that ridiculous lion tattoo. In someone's basement with loud music, a solo cup in one hand and his other arm around some girl I've never seen before. The caption says, "Birthday vibes for the real ones. Champagne fire, blessed Yan ink therapy." He'd gotten a new tattoo, a big one, across his chest this time. Some dripping script that said, "Survivor." The kind of thing you get when you think your story is inspiring instead of just messy. That was the moment something in me flipped. I wasn't just annoyed. I wasn't even just hurt. I was done. Done being the reasonable cousin. Done being the one who lends money, forgives late payments, and keeps the peace when he ghosts half the family. So I didn't text him. I didn't confront him. I didn't post a shady comment under the video. I did something worse. Because Trent has a wife, Melanie. Sweet, kind, painfully naive Melanie, who once cried at Thanksgiving because the turkey reminded her of her childhood pet. Melanie, who sends me Pinterest boards when she's planning birthday parties for their twins, who still signs her messages with emojis like, "It's 2009. And I knew something Trent didn't. Melanie once messaged me in a panic 6 months ago when she thought Trent was cheating on her. He wasn't that time, but it stuck with me. So instead of asking for my $400 back, I sent Melanie a message. Just 5 words. "Hey, can we talk privately?" I half expected her to ignore me, or to message back something vague like, "Everything okay?" But Melanie replied within 10 minutes. And she didn't just reply, she sent me her number and asked if I could talk right then. I hesitated. I wasn't sure if I was ready to actually say what I'd been thinking. I wasn't even sure if I was about to ruin a marriage over $400 and a chest tattoo. But I knew one thing. Trent wouldn't think twice before screwing someone over. So I called. Melanie answered on the second ring. Her voice was low, tense. "What's going on?" I could hear the twins screaming in the background. Something about a missing juice box. And her sigh cut through the line. "Is this about Trent?" she asked. That stopped me. I hadn't even said anything yet. "Why do you say that?" There was a pause. Then, quietly, "Because I've been waiting for someone to say something. Anything." So I told her. Not everything. Just enough. I told her he borrowed $400 from me for car repairs a month ago, said he needed it to start a new job, that he never mentioned paying me back, that I saw him partying on TikTok last weekend with a new tattoo and a bottle of Patron. There was silence for so long I thought the call dropped. Then she said, flat and sharp, "He told me you offered him the money, that it was your idea." My stomach flipped. "And the job?" I asked. "He said he was working late nights. Food delivery. That's why he kept coming home at 2 a.m. I didn't mean to say it, but it came out anyway. He doesn't even have a car." That was the moment Melanie broke. I didn't hear her cry exactly, but the phone got quiet, like she'd moved it away from her mouth, and I could hear her breathing change. That tight, silent panic that comes when your world starts falling apart in real time. "I'm sorry," I said, feeling the heat rise in my chest. "I wasn't trying to blow things up." "No," she said quickly. Thank you. Thank you for telling me." And then she asked the question I hadn't seen coming. "Do you have proof?" I blinked. "Of the money?" "No," she said. of anything else. And just like that, the tone shifted. I realized this wasn't just about the $400 or even the lie. This was about all the quiet suspicions Melanie had swallowed for months, maybe years. This was about every weird night Trent didn't come home, every story that didn't add up. This was her looking for a reason to stop doubting herself. So I sent her the TikTok, not just the one with the tattoo, but the whole thread. The bottle, the girl, the comments. One of his buddies tagged him with the caption, "We outside every weekend, even the married ones." Melanie didn't reply right away. I figured she needed time, so I left it alone. I figured that was it. I'd done my part. I'd said my piece. But then that night, she texted me one photo, a screenshot of her Venmo, a $400 payment to me with the note, "For everything you've put up with," and then some. And then a second message right after, "He's about to find out what the quiet ones are capable of." Let's just say, I didn't sleep much that night. It started with a ping, 7:12 a.m. My phone buzzed with a notification from Facebook. Someone tagged me in a post. Weird. I opened it up expecting a meme or a memory post. Nope, it was Melanie. And she wasn't pulling punches. She posted a photo of Trent's TikTok, him with the girl, the bottle, the whole chaotic mess, and wrote this long, brutal caption that started with, "So this is what car repairs look like now? Ha ha ha." And then went all in. She talked about how she's been covering rent, school lunches, and credit card bills while her husband was grinding at his imaginary night job. She mentioned the $400 lie, the tattoo, the lies about working late. She never used his name directly, but she didn't need to. Everyone knew. And then she tagged me, said, "Shout out to the real ones who tell you the truth when it hurts. Appreciate you, cousin." The comments were an instant firestorm. Family members jumping in confused. A couple of Trent's bros trying to laugh it off. One of Melanie's friends wrote, "Finally." Another one said, "We been new." My aunt chimed in, Trent's mom, with a heart emoji, which was surreal because she's always defended him. I didn't even have time to process it before my phone blew up. Trent called twice, left a voicemail that started with, "You little rat," and then cut off. I didn't answer. I wasn't about to let him scream at me like I owed him an explanation. I turned my phone on silent and just sat on the edge of my bed feeling like I'd dropped a match in a dry forest. And then the kicker came in. Melanie texted me again. "He's gone." Just those two words. Apparently, after she posted, she confronted him, waited for him to come home. He saw the post, flipped out, yelled something about being set up, called her paranoid, and then packed a bag and dipped. Didn't even take his charger. She said he grabbed his PlayStation 5, a wad of cash from a kitchen drawer, and walked out without saying goodbye to his kids. She wasn't crying. She was furious and focused. She said, "I've already changed the locks. His name's not on the lease. Let him sleep at one of his boys' places. Let him explain this to his parents. I'm done." I offered to come by just to help with the kids or whatever, but she said no. She said she needed to do this part on her own. But then she said something I can't stop thinking about. "I always knew I'd need a reason to leave. Thank you for giving me one." I haven't heard from Trent since, but from the silence, I know he's spinning, hiding, plotting. And the worst part? This doesn't feel over. Update 1. Okay, wow. So apparently when you call out a toxic cousin and his TikTok tattoo spiral, the internet notices. I didn't expect this to blow up like it did. I posted part 1 thinking maybe a few people would relate or tell me I was being petty. Instead, I got a full inbox of chaos. Some of y'all were cheering me on like I'd just taken down Voldemort. Others? Y'all are unhinged in the best way. "Burn the bridge and dance in the ashes" was probably my favorite DM. But honestly, what surprised me most was how many of you had a Trent in your lives. Like, damn, we're all just one cousin away from a breakdown, huh? Anyway, some of y'all asked what happened after Trent disappeared. So here's your update. Short version, he's not in hiding. He's performing. Yeah, Trent posted a TikTok the next day, not to apologize, not to clarify, to defend himself. He filmed it in a car, some beater he probably borrowed, talking about snakes in the family and how real ones get hated on when they're building. I swear he actually said, "Y'all act like a man can't celebrate milestones without being crucified." Like he wasn't 3 bottles deep on a Wednesday with a tattoo so fresh it still had the saran wrap on. He never said my name, but he didn't have to. He said, "Blood ain't thicker than clout chasers." And that was enough. Melanie saw it, sent me the link with a single word, embarrassing. But that's not even the twist. The real twist is that his mom, my Aunt Rhonda, has apparently taken Melanie's side, fully. Which is wild because she used to think Trent walked on water. She posted her own Facebook status saying, "Proud of my daughter-in-law for standing up for herself. Sometimes protecting your peace means walking away from the mess, even if it's family." No names, again. But she tagged me, with a heart, y'all. I'm not saying I started a family civil war, but I might have kicked off a full-blown emotional coup. And as for Trent, he's crashing at his friend's place, spiraling into TikTok martyrdom. And last I heard, Melanie's lawyer cousin is helping her file for custody and looking into how she can legally reclaim the money he borrowed from their joint account. Turns out the $400 wasn't the only thing he took. I'm laying low for now, but I'm not done. Because remember, I said I paid Melanie back, but not with money. So here's the thing about Trent. He's a liar, yeah, but he's also careless, sloppy even. The kind of dude who reuses the same password for everything and leaves his laptop open in public like no one would dare go through it. I know this because back when we still talked, before the $400 ghosting, he once had me fix his Wi-Fi and forgot to log out of his email. I didn't snoop then. But Melanie? She remembered that day too. So when everything started unraveling and she asked, "What did you mean when you said you paid me back but not with money?" I told her. I reminded her about that one afternoon months ago when Trent made me reset his email and logged into all his socials from my laptop. How, after I was done, I noticed he never logged out of a single thing, and how I'd quietly saved a copy of his login credentials just in case. Not to be shady, just because I knew someday I'd need to remind him that I wasn't a fool. Melanie just said, "Send them." I did. What she did with them? That's where the real revenge began. She didn't hack anything. No fake posts, no wild messages. She did something way smarter. She printed them. Every DMS thread, every TikTok thirst message, every half-baked lie he told his side friends about his crazy wife and how hard marriage is when you're the only one grinding. She compiled them into a neat little binder, labeled it Trent's Truths, and gave it to his boss. Yeah, turns out Trent did have a job. A part-time gig working at his friend's detailing garage, under the table. Melanie knew the owner. She walked in, cool as hell, asked if she could leave something in Trent's locker. The owner said yes. Apparently, Trent showed up later that day, opened his locker, and found the binder along with a single post-it note from the cousin who pays his debts. He left work early and hasn't been back since. I'm not saying I ruined his life, but I did drop the first domino. Melanie? She's on fire now. She's changed her last name on Facebook, posted a new profile pic with her and the kids at the park, and captioned it, "Thriving. No lion tattoos required." As for me, I'm not even mad anymore. I'm watching it unfold like a soap opera and wondering how this man ever thought I was the weak one. But buckle up, because next, that's when Trent finally snapped and tried to drag me down with him. I should have known Trent wasn't going to just take the L and disappear quietly. That's not how narcissists go out. They don't retreat, they rebrand. And that's exactly what he tried to do. It started 2 days after the binder incident. My phone lit up with a notification from a brand new TikTok account, @RealTrentSpeaks. Yeah, he made a whole damn account just to post a 5-minute response video filmed in the front seat of someone else's car. Hoodie up, sunglasses on, fake serious tone. He looked like he was auditioning for a docuseries about misunderstood men who definitely don't pay child support. He started with, "There's been a lot said about me, a lot of hate, a lot of lies." Then he hit us with, "Sometimes when you level up, people get jealous, even family." And then he name-dropped me. Didn't say my full name, but said my job, where I worked. Talked about how I stayed mad because I never made it out of the friend zone with Melanie. Yup, this man decided the best defense was pretending I had a crush on his wife. Comments were immediately turned off. Classic. I didn't even feel anger at first. Just this hollow, exhausted disbelief. Like, this is how far you're willing to go? After you stole from me, lied, and bailed on your own kids? I wasn't going to respond publicly. That was my rule. I dropped my bombs and walked away. But then I got a call from my boss. Apparently, someone had emailed our company's contact page with an anonymous tip about me sharing confidential client info. It was complete BS, but still, it got flagged. I had to sit through a meeting explaining how someone was trying to smear me. There was no name on the email, but the address? It started with t.lionheart88 . That's when something in me snapped clean. See, Trent forgot something important. We didn't just grow up together. We grew up close, which means I know things. Things like how his first credit card is still linked to his Google account, how his dad's old garage still stores certain things in Trent's name, and more importantly, how Melanie, now fully unleashed, had kept every receipt, every bounce check, every sketchy text about borrowing from the wrong people. So I did what any petty, vengeful cousin would do. I wrote my own email, but not to my boss, to Trent's side girl, the one from TikTok. I told her everything, attached screenshots, sent her the TikTok of him calling her a random to his friends. Her reply? "Lumfo, girl, you are wild. Wait till I post this." And then she did. She posted everything. DMs, voice notes, screenshots, with the caption, "Imagine being married, jobless, and this dumb. Couldn't be me." Melanie texted me 2 hours later. "He showed up yelling at the front door. I called the cops. He ran. Then, thanks again for everything. Update 2. Okay, so first off, Y'all are absolutely feral, and I love you for it. I was not expecting the chaos. My inbox, wrecked. My DMS, a war zone. One person literally sent me a voice note saying, "You're doing God's work." Another just wrote, "This man picked the wrong cousin in the wrong era." But my favorite message came from someone named Tessa, shout out if you're reading this, who said, "Don't stop now. You're not just exposing him, you're freeing every Melanie out there." Honestly, that hit me harder than I thought it would, because I didn't start this to make some grand point. I just wanted my money back, maybe a little dignity. But somewhere along the way, after Melanie stood up, after his side chick torched him online, after my aunt took my side, I realized this wasn't about the $400 anymore. This was about reclaiming the part of me I used to shrink for his convenience. So yeah, let's talk fallout. Trent has gone full ghost, deleted his TikTok, shut down comments on all his old posts. And according to Melanie, his own mom kicked him out after he tried to borrow money from her again, and she straight up told him, "Ask your cousin. He's the one with the receipts." Y'all, I've never laughed so hard in my life, but here's where things get even wilder. Remember how Melanie was planning to get legal help? Well, she didn't just file for full custody. She also had Trent served, with papers demanding repayment for the funds he stole from their joint account. And guess who helped her build the case? Me? Turns out all those screenshots I saved, all those messages and bank screenshots she compiled, they're part of a small claims lawsuit now. Melanie called me last night, said the court date's next month, said she's not scared anymore. And then she said this: "When the judge asks why I stayed so long, I'm gonna say, because I didn't know I had backup. Then my cousin showed me I did." I don't even know how to explain what that felt like. All I can say is, thank you. To Reddit, to every comment, DM, unhinged emoji rant, and chaotic revenge idea you sent. I didn't do this alone. It ended where it began, at the family barbecue. Every year, my Aunt Rhonda, Trent's mom, hosts this big summer cookout. Burgers, cornhole, those plastic tablecloths that stick to your arms when it's too hot. It's always the same group. Aunts, uncles, cousins, lawn chairs, cheap beer. And every year, Trent shows up late, loud, acting like he owns the damn yard. But this year, Melanie showed up first. She pulled up in her new SUV, her SUV now, since she removed his name from the insurance, and stepped out with the twins looking like walking justice. The kids had matching shirts that said, "Mama's Day Ones." Subtle, savage, beautiful. Everyone was buzzing, not just because Trent wasn't there yet, but because word had spread. Melanie's Facebook post about the court filing had hit like a tactical nuke in the family group circles. The one where she wrote, "Lesson learned. If someone shows you who they are with a TikTok and a tattoo, believe them." My Aunt Rhonda hugged her tight. No shade, no fake smiles, just full support. That woman's been through it, and I think seeing Melanie take a stand gave her hope for something better, even if it meant losing her son for a while. Anyway, about halfway through the cookout, guess who finally shows up? Yep, Trent, wearing sunglasses. At 7 p.m., still got the lion tattoo out, still walking like someone asked him to sign autographs. He walks up to the drink table like nothing happened. No apology, no acknowledgement, just starts pouring a solo cup full of Sprite like he's not a walking scandal. And then, someone puts on his TikTok audio. I swear to God it was one of the teenagers. Maybe my cousin's kid, I don't even know. But suddenly, through the Bluetooth speaker, we hear his voice. "Y'all act like a man can't celebrate milestones without being crucified." Trent freezes. The adults all turn. The kids are laughing. Melanie? She doesn't even flinch. She's busy helping her daughter open a Capri Sun. My uncle walks over to the speaker, turns it down, and just goes, "Didn't realize this was open mic night." That's when Trent loses it. He starts yelling, at nobody in particular. Says he's being ambushed, that this whole family turned into snakes, that I'm the reason he's losing everything. He even starts walking toward me, puffed up like he's ready to fight. I don't flinch. I just say, "Melanie paid me back." He stops, blinks. Then I say, "Not with money, with closure." The whole yard goes silent. And Trent, he walks out, doesn't say another word, just disappears through the gate. Nobody follows him. Later, Melanie and I sit on the porch steps, plastic plates on our laps. She looks over and says, "You think he'll ever get it?" I shrug. Not my problem. We clink paper cups. I watch the kids chase each other through the grass. The sun starts going down. And for the first time in a long time, I feel clean. Like maybe letting go doesn't always mean losing. Sometimes it means finally getting to be the version of yourself that doesn't carry everyone else's mess. And yeah, Trent's tattoo still says "Survivor," but now everyone knows why he got it. Because somehow, despite his own self-destruction, he survived me. Barely.